Now, you'd think that the demise of an arch-terrorist with the blood of thousands of Americans on his hands would be celebrated in the international media. Unfortunately, you'd be wrong. Over the last week, we've seen multiple major mainstream media sources attempt to whitewash the memory of Hassan Nasrallah, a mass murderer and the leader of Hezbollah, a terror proxy of the Islamic regime in Iran. This man was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of U.S. soldiers, such as the 1983 Marine barracks bombing in Lebanon. He's responsible for the kidnapping and murder of civilians all over the world, for plane hijackings, for bus bombings, for numerous suicide bombings, and even for sending terrorists to Iran to murder and maim Iranian protesters. Yet this is how the AP described him: charismatic and shrewd. Instead of speaking about his murderous history and obsession with slaughtering Americans, the New York Times described him as a revered Shiite Muslim cleric, and The Guardian described him as a qualified Islamic scholar, effective public speaker, and competent organizer. The Washington Post described him as a father figure, a moral compass, and a political guide. Yes, the same Washington Post that described ISIS leader al-Baghdadi as an austere religious scholar upon his demise. What is going on in these newsrooms? Is it really that hard to report the news without a glowing eulogy of monstrous terrorists? I don't think it's unreasonable to say that terrorists who mass murder innocent civilians and hijack planes shouldn't be praised for their achievements across the mainstream media. This is not journalism. It's sanitizing the murderer of American soldiers, of Iranian protesters, of Jews in Argentina, of Israeli men, women, and children, and of countless other innocent people for over 4 decades. To all the mainstream media minimizing Nasrallah's terrorism, please do better.